Alrighty, joining me now is a Bellator MMA women's featherweight contender who takes on Marloes Coenen for the vacant featherweight title in the main event of Bellator 174 on March 3rd in Thackerville, Oklahoma. Please welcome Julia Budd to the program for the very first time. Julia, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much for taking the time. Now, first off, to me, it feels like this fight has been supposed to happen for ages. Of course, it was supposed to happen back at Bellator 155 last year. And how relieving is it to know that, barring any last-minute changes, knock on wood, of course, the fight's actually going to go down this time around?
I feel like it's perfect timing. It's actually the third time that we were supposed to fight. So, I just feel like it's perfect timing, and I can't wait for it.
Absolutely. Were you told... Now, you, of course, fought Arlene Blencoe after you recovered from the injury that forced you out of the original Coenen matchup last year. Why did you go on to fight Arlene and not immediately get rebooked versus Coenen?
Well, from what they told me, that basically, I thought it would be Coenen for sure, and that it would be for the belt, but they wanted her to have a fight in between. And they were hoping for her to be able to rematch Alexis. Then I don't even know what went on there, but I didn't want to wait around. So I was like, get me somebody, and Arlene's top competition. And I was just excited to get in there because I didn't want to wait in case, say, something happened in the fight with Marloes and somebody else, then I get sidelined for another, 4 or 5 months. So I didn't want to take any chances, and I was feeling good, and I wanted to get in there and test my skills. So.
Okay, so at least it's not like Bellator forced you to take another fight for whatever reason while you were initially supposed to fight for the title anyways.
Oh, yeah, no. I wanted to get in there. Like, coming off injury, I wanted to get in there and kind of test myself and see how it felt getting a fight under my belt. So that was a personal decision with me and my coaches, and I'm excited that it happened.
Right, now... After that win, were you told immediately that you'd end up, rebooked against Coenen for the title, or were you not immediately sure what would happen next?
Well, she was supposed to fight Talita Nogueira on November 4th, so I fought October 21st. She was supposed to fight a couple weeks later, and then the winners of our fight were supposed to be booked for the title. So that was, I just knew if she won, it would be against her, but if Talita won, it would be against Talita, from what I was told, but Talita never made weight, and Marloes chose not to fight. So it just got, we got told about the title. I think it was like right after the New Year. I got told that I'd be fighting Marloes on this card. So.
Gotcha. Now, of course, when you pulled out of that fight back last year, Coenen did go on to fight. She fought Alexis Dufresne, and she actually lost that fight. She went in as a very, very big favorite and was tapped out in the first round. In your opinion, your opponent fighting for the title off a loss, does that take anything away from this fight? Not on your side, but of course, particularly on her side.
I don't think so. Like, she's done so much. She's had so many fights, and she's done so much in the sport that I don't think that it does. It was kind of I don't really know from her standpoint what she's feeling, but I'm expecting the best Marloes Coenen. So that's all that I kind of can control. I don't think it takes away from this fight though, because Alexis missed weight by like 7-8 pounds that night. So it kind of, I feel like that took away from it, was the whole weight fiasco that went down. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course the weight thing is a big issue, and it wouldn't have been right if Alexis Dufresne was in your spot fighting for, or in Marloes' spot fighting for the title against you. But it is interesting. Do you sort of agree that Dufresne is actually on this card as well? Yeah,
I think that it's awesome because, there's 3 girl fights going down that night, and it's good to see. I love it when there's other girls fighting on the same card, and I think it's exciting. If Alexis can beat Gabby Holloway, then it kind of sets up something exciting for the potential the title contender for the next time that I retain the title or whatever. For the winner of our fight fights the winner of their fight or something like that. So I think it's good for our division.
I was gonna say that I would agree. I think that's probably what should happen and make sense. Of course, especially if Dufresne gets that win, because then she'll have the win over Coenen as well. So yeah, that for sure makes sense.
exactly. But, we'll see if they make weight. Like, it's just the weight thing for our division. It's lacking professionalism, and that's pretty frustrating because for Toledo to miss it and then Alexis to miss it, and it kind of takes away from the professionalism of our division, which sucks. So we'll see if they make weight next week.
Do you think that, of course you said it's taken away from the division, but do you think that, delayed the division at all?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it has been because it's lacking professionalism. And so when the fights do happen, like you missed weight by 7-8 pounds, it doesn't look right.
Right. With a win on March 3rd, are you going to push for Bellator to go to Canada so you can defend the belt in your home country? And of course, with Roy McDonald now signed with Bellator, it seems to line up pretty well. Imagine a card in Canada with you and Roy McDonald on the card.
Absolutely. That would be a dream come true. And I think that hopefully they'll be coming out in the summer sometime, and that would be the perfect time to fight again.
Have you talked to Bellator about a potential card in Canada?
Yeah, we spoke last year when I was fighting Arlene in October, and they kind of mentioned it, and I just said right away, like, we definitely want to be on that card. So,
did it sound like anything promising? Did it sound like it really could come to fruition?
Yeah, it did, actually. I think that, who knows? I don't know what's gone on since then, but it definitely sounds like they'd be coming somewhere, either Montreal or Ontario. And that would be, my family's all in Toronto, so it would be a dream come true. Everyone could come watch me, and I'd love to be on that card.
Now, you've had 3 fights with Bellator. Do you plan on sticking around when your contract is over, whenever that may be? Or with, of course, the UFC now having their own featherweight division, would you like to, test the market, see what your options are? Would you have a plan, or are you just kind of going day by day?
Well, it's day by day, but I'm signed for 3 fights with Bellator. I'm really happy with them. I want to be their champion. That's been my focus since I signed with them, and I want to be the Bellator 145-pound champion, and defend the title as well. So, I've got 3. I'll have 2 more fights after this fight, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Nice. Have you been happy with the way Bellator has marketed specifically the women's featherweight division leading up to this first title fight?
No, I don't. I haven't really been happy with it. But I don't feel like it's 100% their fault. That was one of the frustrations with people missing weight, and it's just like it's kind of been stale up until this point. And I think that this card, me and Marloes fighting for the first title belt, will bring a whole new energy to the division, and after this, it's going to be a whole new division.
Now, when this fight was booked for last year, it was actually on the prelims, which is kind of bizarre. How concerning was that? How problematic was that for you?
You know what? At the end of the day, it's like I didn't care. I was like, I'm just going to go out there and do the best performance ever and see what happens. They ended up pushing it to live TV, so I think when Marloes and Alexis fought, it ended up being on TV. But at first it was like we were pissed and everybody was reacting, and then afterwards it was like, it kind of just goes in one ear and out the other because I got a job to do at the end of the day. So I think focusing too much on that, then you take away from actually just getting the job done and making sure that you put on an exciting performance so that they will put you on the main card next time.
Do you think you guys headlining this card coming up is a response from Bellator, a response to, fans complaining, the fighters complaining, everyone complaining, but also Bellator realizing that, hey, these fighters actually deserve this headline spot?
Yeah, I think it was for sure. The fans definitely helped push for that. And, I think that it was just, it's time. It's like this is a big deal. Me and Marloes were supposed to fight before. There's again, it's like it's finally happening. It's exciting, and I think it was the time to make it for the main event. And the card is stacked. I feel like it's an exciting card all in all. So to be headlining it it's a dream come true.
Now, I'm sure you're getting asked about this quite a bit. Of course, Jermaine Duranamy just defeated Holly Holm for the inaugural Women's Featherweight Championship over on the UFC. Were you glad to see the UFC finally create a women's featherweight division, just so the weight class gets noticed a lot, or more? Because I know, and I'm sure you're quite aware, the division gets a lot of criticism for just being so shallow.
And yeah, and which is just, I feel like it's weird. I was pumped. I'm pumped. I feel like the more organizations that have the 145ers featured, the better. And I feel like they were both totally worthy to be fighting for the title. With Cyborg kind of sidelined there with the USADA and all that stuff. So I feel like that just builds more energy for the 145 division, more eyes on it, and now it sets it up so that either Jermaine will either have a rematch with Holly or fight Cyborg, and it brings some excitement to it, and I think it was a good thing.
Now, if you have to make a prediction right now, before you retire, whenever that may be, do you see yourself stepping inside the UFC's octagon?
I can't look that far ahead. I really can't. I've got 3 fights with Bellator, and I want to stay active. I want to fight a lot this year. That's one of my goals, and we'll see where it goes from there, but I can't really say.
But overall, you have been happy with Bellator?
Yeah, I am. I'm super happy with them, and I think this putting us on the as the main event for this card coming up. It really is a dream come true, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Awesome. How do you think you get the job done and win the inaugural Women's Featherweight Championship on March 3rd?
I'm going to push the pace, and I'm going to get the job done, whether it's in the first round, second round, third round. I visualize every single possible scenario going down, but I'm going to push the pace, and I'm going to finish her. So.
Awesome, Julie. Really appreciate the time. Before I let you go, let my audience know where they can check you out on social media, and if there's anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to, now's your time.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you to my teammates, my coaches at Gibson MMA, my mom and dad, my family, and you can check me out on Instagram at Jewel604, Twitter at Julia Budd, and Facebook at Julia Budd as well.